Hi, everybody. Welcome to our fourth episode of Ask the Expert online. So before I get into the official welcome, for those of you who are here, I want to let you know this is our fourth episode. We've had some challenges with Facebook connecting with Zoom. So if that happens today, while we're in really good shape right now, we've been here before, if for some reason the connection drops, we're going to continue to record and we're going to post it later. So you'll be able to see the information, which is going to be fantastic. So hopefully you can see it all now, but this will be available later. So thank you for tuning in. And I just wanted to make that announcement. I will also want to say thank you so much for joining us. And we've had a lot of people check in and watch our Ask the Experts the last couple of episodes, and we even generated some business for one of our experts. So that's fantastic. So thank you again. I said to you, this is our fourth episode of Ask the Experts online. As many of you know, my business model is working by referral, and I am a small business, and I believe in small business, and I believe in local business. And given where we are as a country right now, we wanted to find ways to promote some of our favorite local house and home related businesses and share a sense of community along with getting you some really good information. So each week we're conducting a meeting like this, and we're going to introduce you to our latest expert. So as I mentioned, we are recording this, so it's going to also be available later. And if for some reason you need it in another format, reach out to me or Jennifer and we'll get you a link. I'm going to ask some questions to our guest, and she's going to share some really good content, rich information on our topic today, which is creating a workable home office. And then if we have time, we're going to get to some of your questions. So without further ado, I want to thank my expert of the week. This is Niki VanEch. Hi, Niki.
Hi, Ann. Thanks for having me.
We're excited to have you. Niki's the owner and ridiculous designer of VanEch Studio and Design. So she comes out and she's been doing design work in the greater DC area, Maryland, DC, Virginia, for 30 years. And she also owns a really special retail shop, which will hopefully be open again soon in Occoquan, Virginia. And that's a great place to go stroll around and have a fun day and make a meal of it, do some shopping, pick up some gifts. And she's there, so you can also pop in and say hello. Niki has fans everywhere. In fact, she's helped me stage many, many homes, dozens and dozens at this point. And I've noticed my homes sell more quickly when Niki's involved. She, interestingly, so many of my clients have been pleased with the results of the home that they're getting ready to sell and leave, that they've then hired her to help them at the new home. So I'm so excited to have you here today. Niki, you and I were chatting about how people are spending more time in their homes, and that's how this idea for today's topic came to be. The home office is more important than ever, and that's what Niki will be talking with us about today, how to optimize that space. So Niki, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure, Ann, as always, to be with you.
Thanks, Niki. We're going to hear more from you in just a couple minutes. First, I want to start with a very brief update on the DC metropolitan real estate market because we are getting a lot of questions about it. We've now completed 6 weeks since the official COVID-19 shutdown, and contract activity continues to be well below what it was this time last year, which one would expect. But homes are actually selling more quickly than they were this time last year. The average number of days that it's taking a home to go under contract right now is 25.4 days. And last year it was 29.4 days. So that tells us there are very serious buyers in the marketplace, and there are sellers who want to sell. The week before last, 1,300 homes went under contract in our region. And this past week it was 1,400. So that's increasing. And then for the week of April 26th to May 2nd, there was a 30.9% drop in contract activity in the region, Maryland, DC, Virginia, compared to the same 7-day period last year. Throughout the last 6 weeks, the overall decline has been 33%. So all this to say, it's not ideal. None of this is ideal. But homes are still moving. Sellers are still selling. Buyers are still buying. And people seem to be very serious-minded about it. Average home price is not increasing rapidly at this point. But, you know, as somebody said earlier today, if we come out of this and homes stay flat for the year, versus where they were, that's a win, given what we've been through as a country. So, so I don't want to get too deep into the market data. If you have questions about your specific neighborhood or somewhere that you're interested in, certainly reach out to me. I'm happy to chat with you. We are operating a little more carefully than we did before also. That's important to know, so I can talk to you about the precautions we're taking. So I want to go ahead and get into the interview portion of this, which is why we're all in theory here, since we're now not live anymore. But hopefully you're watching this. We had good watchership last week. So Niki, thank you again for joining me. Launching right in, you and I were talking, as I referenced recently, about how the vast majority of people are having to work from home. And they're spending more time at home right now. And you and I were wondering, a lot of my clients and friends have been talking about this, you know, what will life be like moving forward? Are more businesses going to let their employees work from home? Will kids have to do more schooling from home? Will PTA meetings be held from home? So how do people carve out office space if they don't currently have a good space? And how do they, you know, how are they finding working from the kitchen table? Or what if several family members have to rotate in and out of the same office space? You know, sharing it with the kid and the mother-in-law and so on. So I want to hit on that right off the bat. What would your approach be to a smaller home, which, you know, many people live in closer in, versus a larger home, a home with more square footage? Because they're different spaces, but the needs are the same.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Ann. Again, the topic is very much trending right now because we all are facing, everybody's sort of in the same playing field and facing similar challenges of being productive in an environment that we're not used to working from. You know, in terms of your home, you know, whether you're in a big home or a small home, it plays a lot to how your space is being allocated. I work with a client in Bethesda, and it was just a 2-bedroom. They had their bedroom and a guest bedroom, and we had to convert that extra bedroom into office space. So what we did was we eliminated the queen size bed and we put in a Murphy bed, and we were able to get in 2 workstations into the space and use the closet for great storage. Murphy beds are great solutions right now. If you happen to have a guest bedroom that isn't being used all that much, and what happened right there?
Jennifer's going to pull up a picture of a Murphy bed. There it is.
Okay, great. That's right. So yeah, and believe it or not, they're making them really comfortable now. The storage options in Murphy beds are tremendous. The one you see up here, actually, that is a sofa that actually flips out into a bed. So if you need the additional seating, these Murphy beds are great office functions for you right now. And on the switch side too, if you are in a big house, perhaps there's a room that you aren't utilizing fully, like a sunroom. I'm working with clients in McLean, and we're actually going to take that sunroom and put in a big workspace table. They have 3 boys, and they're active with their studies. And This is kind of a multi-purpose space that everyone can use together or individually. Good lighting, and certainly I think more functional than just leaving a couple of wicker chairs in there.
Yeah, I think people are getting more creative with this because they've had to, you know, what is it? Necessity is the mother of invention, right? So
exactly.
I think more and more people will get like that. Jennifer later, whenever, will show a house I sold where they had opened up the stairway going into the basement, and you know that stairway that's usually this dark storage space, that was opened up, and they put a desk there, and it was just this fantastic little nook. And just today I talked to the client who said, I'm going to need a condo, but I'm not sure how I'm going to handle it because I have to work from home, and I have a child, so I need 2 bedrooms, but maybe a third, but I don't know if I can afford 3. And I said, well, we may be able to carve out office space out of another space. So I'm going to send that link for sure to this presentation.
Yeah, I think if you're open to customization, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to spend a lot of money, but I think you're going to obtain the best solution if you are willing to look at things from a custom perspective in fitting in, say, an angled wall or under a stairway, in a closet.
Well,
Lots
for
of
you
options.
folks who are watching today, Nikki sent us some fantastic photos of some options. So we're going to share those with you throughout the presentation and at the end. And Nikki will comment on some of those. So just
Sure,
some
that's
really cool options
right there.
out right now. Um, so Nikki, something that as we're doing this, I hear the trash truck outside and I'm reminded how sound or noise, street traffic, your dog, your kids, alarms, how are people dealing with those from home? And are you getting that question a lot right now?
Well, not only am I getting it, but I'm experiencing it myself as the people that I talk to on the phone. I think right now we're very understanding. Again, we're all kind of in the same boat together. So, when that dog interrupts us or the hedge trimmer starts to go off, we sort of try to run into a space that is a little more soundproof. But
Right.
moving forward, I think you're going to have to take a look at soundproofing rooms. There are acoustical type panels, flooring, get rugs down on your wood floor, um, window curtains, things that give you a little more barrier to outdoor sounds as well as interior.
It's funny you mentioned the panels. I sold a condo in Reston recently, and my clients and I were walking down this long hallway, and there were these pieces of artwork that looked like drips of water. They were attractive, but they didn't look like normal artwork. I mean, something about them did seem a little different. And I mentioned it to my client who works for Smithsonian. He said those are actually sound dampening artistic panels. And I was like, what a brilliant idea. So maybe we should all invest in that stock right now. Like, should have invested in Zoom about 2.5 months ago. So, all right, well, that's a good answer on sound. I know a realtor who said the best investment he ever made was those sound canceling headphones, because he's got a pile of kids and he just puts them on when he needs to concentrate. So if all else fails, right?
Good point.
How do you feel about the effects of lighting? I know I was messing with my lighting today because when we did our dry run, I've got a window over here, but I added a little light over here. But how do you feel about the effects of lighting, both on productivity, I'm thinking about it from a meeting standpoint, and our mood, which is really important as, people are at home and they're not out and about. And this has certainly affected people's moods, maybe more than ever. So what kind of lighting are you recommending?
So, it depends on the space. Obviously, during the day, daylight is a wonderful source of lighting that I think gives us a good feeling. But the temperature of lighting is very important on our mood and productivity. Is lighting creating shadows on your workspace? Are your walls darkly painted where you're not getting good reflection of lighting? Do you have bulbs out in your recessed lighting that need to be replaced? Are fixtures, if you need to clean them so that the clarity of the light is very good. So lighting is huge. I don't care what part of the interior design we're talking about, but how it affects us in our moods, our productivity, our health. The wrong lighting can produce headaches, tension, tiredness, and just fog. So bringing in good light is very important. And I would recommend consulting with someone that has some lighting background if you're going to do a home office.
Yeah, that's a good recommendation, because even as you were talking, I was thinking, we have lighting for Zoom meetings. We have lighting we need to read by in spaces that maybe weren't spaces we would have been reading in, straining our eyes. We have uneven lighting. There are a lot of issues with it, certainly. So that's a lot to think about and some good pointers. I think one of the things you and I had discussed is that, sometimes people sit at the dining room table just for that reason, because they have good overhead light. But then the counters, the tables, they can produce this fatigue because you're not sitting in a normal office chair. So what recommendations do you have for people related to ergonomics in these type of workspaces where they may be pulling in a hard dining room chair or something?
Yeah, you definitely are going to feel the pain if you sit too long in a dining chair. You want something ergonomically made for you. Your dining table may be at the wrong work height. The chair may be too low. And even at counters, a lot of bar stools are terribly uncomfortable, but people find themselves working there. So, and we had talked about a person that you know, actually we both know, that has a lot of knowledge about our bodies and ergonomically how they should be working during the day.
Yeah, I had checked in with a very talented body worker. We both know her name's Leslie Luckritz, and she is the owner of Alexandria Massage Therapy. It's in Old Town Alexandria. Of course, it's not open right now. And I was calling and checking in with her, and she had wanted to, know more information about what we're doing with this Ask the Expert. And I got to talking about what she's doing, and one thing led to another. And she said people have been consulting with her on ergonomics. I said, wow, that would fit really well with what we're talking about, because I told her we were doing the home office. And she said, people get in this habit of like hunching over because you're looking down at an iPad or laptop or your phone. You have your legs too high, your hips are scrunched together, your shoulders are hunched. I mean, she went into it in detail, and she's right. I mean, that is not going to be good prolonged. I remember talking to a physical therapist who said she was seeing so many kids back when they wore their pants so low and they would walk with their hips like this to try to keep their pants up, and they were having problems in their early 20s because of how they've been walking for years. So something like this is probably to follow. Anyway, Leslie, if anybody's interested, she's consulting right now with people on ideal ergonomic setups at home. And so in some ways you're limited by what you have and you have to adapt, but she can help you with that. And if you have an office who's interested in having someone consult with her people, she could be available. So let me or Nikki know, or Jennifer, and we can connect you. But she's really fantastic at what she does. But that's a big consideration because we don't want to add to our troubles by getting hurt during all this, right? So
yeah, I'm sure a lot of people, even in their offices, were probably not working at ideal types of chairs sometimes, but certainly a chair that can't, move freely back and forth, or you can't adjust the height, or if there are no arms, are going to produce fatigue.
So I see how I'm sitting right now. I have this little disc. You're supposed to sit on it. It's supposed to help your posture. Where is it? It's behind my back.
Your lower back? That means you need lower back support.
Yeah, it's behind my back instead of where it's supposed to be. So anyway, we can get these recommendations, you on the office setup, her on the actual, work, how it works with your body. So, so Nikki, when we think about the home office, some people already have a dedicated space that they use. And then other people are carving a space out, like we'll see in some of the photos. And I know storage is less of an issue than it was for people at one time, although there are certain jobs, certainly like yours, that do need the storage. But what are you seeing in terms of what people are looking for as far as shelving and cabinets and so on? Like, are you seeing a big demand still for shelving, or how are people handling it?
Yeah, I don't know. I think we all never can have enough storage. There are a lot of occupations that can't have a lot of paper trail, so they're accessing a lot of their documents in the cloud. And there are those that still want to open up a file and look at the paper. And I mean, that's how I feel I need to work. I need to actually physically see paperwork. So I have a tremendous amount of files and paper that needs storage. So again, it's how we find solutions for those file cabinets, or, are they going under the desk? Are they going in a nearby closet? Are you carrying something portable back and forth to your rooms to use your papers? So, yep, storage is always big on the list.
Yeah, I like your idea of carrying something, because they do have those portable little cases with the handle. And actually, I got one of those because I've been dealing with my dad's estate, which means going back and forth from my home to his, and the paperwork and people I'm meeting to get things done and so on. And it's just like having a little mini file cabinet. And I really like it because I don't necessarily have all of his stuff electronic. So
yeah,
yeah, they really are. Are there any new office gear solutions for streamlining the charging stations and the cords? I know when you and I are staging, and we have a colleague, Shirley, who we do some projects with, you know, she always wants to hide the cords or get them edited out of the photos, but sometimes it's like this big spaghetti mess. I mean, under my desk it is, but mine's against the wall. But, you know, how can we help people with some of these home office solutions with the charging stations and the cords and so on?
Yeah, it's a big pet peeve of mine as well. And it's amazing how many cords we amass in our offices. If you're starting new in designing your office space, the desks now are equipped with storage compartments that have electrical outlets, have charging stations. Underneath the desk there, you have ways to organize all the cords that come through. So everything is off the floor and pretty much out of sight. If you're working with an existing desk that you have, you can go to someplace like the Container Store and find all kinds of gadgets that will help you organize those wires, attach them to a desk, you know, keep them out of your sight and off your floor. So plenty of good storage solutions for that.
Yeah, that's a pesky issue. And then if you need to get to a wire, figuring out which is which and so on. So having them nicely organized would be great. So Niki, you know, we're doing a Zoom meeting right now, and a lot of people are. I think I have like 4 today. What recommendations do you have for creating the right surrounding for Zoom type meetings at home? Because certainly we're in the thick of that now, but I bet you, like we talked about with home office space, it's just going to be more the way we do things in the future.
I think you're right, Anne. It's definitely, I think we're going to see a lot more of ourselves on a screen than we have ever. And, you know, whether you feel comfortable with that or not, I think it's just going to be the way of the future. And the more that I participate in Zoom, like I'm admiring the artwork behind you. And I happen to know that painting because I was with you when you got it. But
Yeah.
we do tend to like to look at what's behind the person.
Mm-hmm.
If you've watched anything on TV and everyone's quarantined, we're spending time looking at what's on the shelves. So, but really when you're joining like a board meeting on Zoom, you probably want to keep what's behind you to a minimum to reduce distraction. Lighting is very important. How you come dressed, that's your business, but the lighting should be even. Lighting should come from the front. If you have a window to the side, you're going to be dark on one side of the face. So think about how the lighting can be evenly distributed. Don't wear anything overly patterned. I know I have a little bit of too much pattern on today, but again, anything that's over visually, it's going to cause some distraction. So
it's funny that you mentioned this because a couple things I've learned. One day I was doing one of these at dry run. I had my glasses on and I was looking at something, and there were these big white squares where I was in front of was reflecting off my glasses, which looked very strange. And then I was on a Zoom meeting and there were a whole bunch of people, and this one guy was talking, but he was so much in the shadow, you couldn't tell who was talking, even though you can see the green box around him. It was like, is that guy talking? And it was like this weird feeling of not being able to connect the voice with the person. So I think that is really important, especially, I mean, this is our professional meeting now, right?
That's right. I mean, we have to think about, this is how if we were driving in our car and going to a meeting, you know, we have to think about that's sort of a similar. We're joining with our peers and people we're trying to do business with. So putting your best face forward is going to be very important, as well as the back.
I put light over here today because of you. See the shadow, everybody, to balance out the window. So
perfect. Yes.
But we're going to get to some photos where we're going to show you some of Niki's tricks for lighting, in addition to some incredible solutions for small spaces and organization. So what we're going to do is Jennifer, who's behind the scenes, is going to show some photos on the screen, and Niki's going to talk about what you're seeing. So Jennifer, why don't we hit the first one and go from there? Well, Jennifer's pulling it up, and we'll see it in a second. But here we go. I know that a lot there, the lighting. I was just going to say most of these will be rooms, but Niki, you want to talk about the lighting first?
Yeah, so what's very popular now, and you probably, if you have kids, you've seen them use these for their selfies. They're light rings. They started out as just little gadgets that would attach to the back of the phone, but now, as you can see on the far right, they are mega size and they do a wonderful job of putting the light where you want it. And these are fairly inexpensive. I mean, under $100, some under 50. So if you're going to be doing a lot of Zoom, which I think a lot of us are going to be doing, think about picking up a light ring.
That's great. Thanks for sharing that. And I think we're going to move now to some office spaces. So Niki did a good take on the she shed she's going to talk about, but why don't we start there?
So I think as we are looking for more space to create workspaces, looking at our outdoor property and she sheds or any type of shed, this being more of an office shed, is going to gain a lot of popularity. Even businesses are putting pods and workstations outside of their buildings, so people can meet one-on-one in them, and practice safe distancing. But you can run electricity into one of these. You can really create a good off-site, quiet environment on your own property with a structure.
Yeah, that's really good looking. And then we've got some other photos here of small spaces.
Yeah, so the one on the bottom, again, look at that. It's a very narrow space there, but it's near a window. So it provides a nice natural lighting. And this was a custom-made desk, but we utilized every bit of that horizontal space there and created a nice place to do studies.
Yeah, that's
yeah. So the one on the top too, we're just taking space and creating spaces that will actually flow from the other living spaces. You just can't plop in something that's going to look a little horrendous next to a finely designed living room. It can actually become, integral to the rest of the design, and maybe even serve multi-purposes, become, a bar when you're not working there, 9 to 5. And it goes right across the window there. So we utilize space that you wouldn't normally think to put a flat surface.
I love that design. I think that's fantastic. All right, what do we have next, Jennifer?
And you want to talk about yours? Yeah.
Yeah. So the one on the upper left-hand corner is sort of a multi-purpose area, because when you come down the steps from the main level, this is in a townhouse, the owner took the understair storage out and opened up the stairs, which I think is a really pretty look, and it makes the townhouse look wider. But they also put a desk in under that space, and there's recessed light, as you see, so it was bright. You're not near a window, you're not facing one, but it created this very cheerful, cozy space where that desk is tucked into. And the desk is clever. This person was very neat with the cute bins on top, but those little doors you see on the right-hand side of the area where the laptop is, those were cork. So if you wanted to tack something to it, you certainly could. And you can see that there's some storage bins to the left. She did, she was a really good quilter, and she did products for babies, and that was her space. So she did need some storage space, but then her kids could be down there playing with her. It was really nice also. So I thought that was a great use of space. And then Niki's going to talk about the other two.
Very cute. So the middle one, again, this was in the basement, creating 2 workstations there. If you talk about colors and things that inspire you, everyone responds differently to, colored, whether you're going to put a lot of artwork around you. These people had a few personal things that they wanted in their upper space there, but that could also be used for file boxes. And it's a comfortable space. The one on the top is probably one of my favorites, because that was just a little corner of the room. And as you can see, it gives you everything you need. Storage, a place to put your laptop, nice lighting, privacy. So look at little areas of your house that you wouldn't necessarily think a desk could fit in. Again, these are custom options to utilize the space properly.
That's so charming, and I love the little light built in there on the right-hand side. And then
Right.
on the middle photo, I love how the lights are incorporated under the, like on the underside of the floating shelves. That is brilliant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Of course, I would expect nothing less from you, Niki. And I do want to say these don't have to break the bank, anybody who's watching. So, you know, the one that I mentioned, I believe that was IKEA. A lot of that stuff was IKEA. So
IKEA is very adaptable too. You can do a lot with IKEA furniture.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Jennifer, what do we have next? I think we got one more. Yeah, at least one more. But we saw the Murphy bed, so here's the next one. This is neat.
Yeah, so I did not do that one in the upper left, but I just thought, how cool is that? That is a closet. And it has sliding barn doors. So, you know, it's just very well done. And again, I think closets offers, even in kids' rooms, if you can give it up, the closet space. I know a lot of us can't, but and the middle, that is a closet. That's more of a walk-in closet that has a desk in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one on the far right, that's just storage solutions that take up not a huge footprint. You can get a lot of supplies in that thing, and it's not something that takes up, you know, a big space in the room. So
I see why you like the one with the barn doors, because that's going to be attractive open as long as they don't mess it, you know, get it too cluttered, and it's going to be attractive when those are closed, right? So
exactly. Yeah, if you do have a mess in there.
I think you had another one we wanted to look at. I love this floating desks.
Yeah. So these are like all under $300, and look what you can get just by putting something on your wall. They all have expansion, storage. You can do charging stations in them. If you need a place for your child to perhaps do some studies, or you need to do a Zoom, little stations like this put in your house, you know, perhaps in a quiet hallway even. These offer a lot of advantages.
Wow, these are brilliant. I mean, really brilliant. Good, really good solutions, and affordable. So,
yeah.
Well, I think we try to keep these right around half an hour, and I think we're at like 31 minutes right now. So I'm going to say, if you've got questions, I'm going to ask that Niki, we want her to be able to share her website. So you could reach out to her, and certainly you can reach out to me or Jennifer, and we'll put you in contact. But again, this is our expert, Niki VanEch of VanEch Studio and Design. Niki, do you want to give your website information?
Sure. It's vanechstudio.com, www.vanechstudio.com. V as in Victor. Actually, it's right here, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And and if I may, you know, I don't know if I think there's some people watching that know me and that don't know Anne. Maybe some people that don't know either of us. But I just want to say that I've been working with Anne, I don't know, 10 years. Has it been that long? Yeah. So you heard Anne at the beginning. I mean, you can tell her passion for what she does. You can also tell that she gives a lot to other businesses. She cares about human beings. She cares about people she works with. She's put together an incredible team of experts. And, you know, the things that you want to look for in a realtor are integrity and honesty. And I can say that Anne has those down. I mean, she really cares about people, and she will put your needs above hers 100%. So
Niki, I'm blushing. Is my lighting good enough that you can tell? No,
yes.
Thank you for the kind words. Seriously, I mean,
I mean it from my heart. I mean, you know that.
I know you do. I know you do.
Yeah.
And you're such a good referral partner. You've been such a good resource when I've called in a panic about, paint colors or something that went wrong or something that wasn't ready, and you've just been such a fabulous resource. And it's a testament to you that we stage a house that someone's selling and they like it so much they hire you where they're buying. So I hope that pattern repeats many times. You're a fantastic referral partner and a good friend. And she's right. I believe in local business. We're going to highlight a whole bunch of experts. We have a lot of local small businesses that we want to see make it through this. And it's not just that they should make it through, it's that they're really good at what they do, and they will help you, and they will make you live in your home better. And so that's why we're going to bring them to you, and you're going to get great information and good resources, and maybe they'll get some business out of it. So Niki, thank you for being my expert of the day.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Next week we have, and if anybody needs to contact her again, feel free to reach out to us, or you can go to her website. Next week we're going to have an organizer, personal organizer and concierge, Rebecca Rouet. And what you need to know about organizing and concierge services is they're not just for the wealthy. Rebecca has helped people with all kinds of things, and we're going to get into that and how she can help you, because the to-do lists, people have gotten a lot done in their homes and they've realized a lot of things they need to do. And so Rebecca can help us get things done and find resources. She's fantastic. I hope you'll tune in next week. I want to thank you for being here today. And if you need a real estate expert, or you know somebody who does, to help buy, sell, consult, I'm happy to do that. Again, my name is Ann McClure, and I'm with McInerney Associates, and I thank you for tuning in. And I want to also thank Jennifer, who does things for us in the background. She's my listing and marketing manager, and she's our little producer here. So thank you, Jennifer, and we hope to see you next time on Ask the Expert. Bye.